Right. Hello and welcome to episode 3 or 4 of the Film Production Podcast. This week we're talking to postgrads, which is very exciting. I've never spoken to a postgrad before, I don't think. I didn't even know they existed, to be honest. Outside of university, there's basically nothing, as far as I can tell. So, yeah. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Like, say a little bit about yourself? Like a really quick fire. Yeah? We'll go from right to left.
Okay, start with me. So, hi, my name is Andreea Tudor, and I graduated in summer along with these guys. And what I do at the moment is I actually work for the university. It's an internship. And it's quite of a good start going into just the media and everything. And yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's good.
Cool. I'm Faris Sami, also graduated with these two last summer. Currently I'm working as a chef, but awaiting a phone call for a job application, hopefully. So,
Nice, yeah.
I'm Rob. I'm the least accomplished of the three of us. I moved back up to Salford a few months ago and am now looking for something to do.
Nice. Okay, cool. So let's just get straight into the meat and potatoes of this. Is really where are you guys? What is going on in your lives? Do you feel like the course has prepared you enough almost for the real world of film and life?
I think no one prepares you for anything, really. There's no textbook or anything more just advice. Oh, you're going to graduate, think about your job and your thing. But actually, when you firsthand experience it, it just hits you like that. And so far, obviously, I think I can say for everyone, there's been ups and downs because that's how it is when you graduate. But yeah, there's so much more. It's a whole world out there.
I think they did prepare us for how competitive everything is. I have applied for lots of jobs and I've had applications and I've got through processes but not got the job. And I think if I hadn't have been here and had the warning essentially at the beginning of this is an incredibly difficult thing to get into, I think it would have hit me a lot harder, but it hasn't got me down at all. I've just found other things to fill the time and I know that the right thing will come along eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want an instant statistic just to see how wide the field is and how much competition you're against, you just go on LinkedIn and let's say you have a specific job field. So if you're a video editor or a sound supervisor, you can go on and immediately within the first day you'll see about 200 applicants just within your area. So you really need to be top of your field or kind of have something unique about you, as cliche as it is, because that is really what sets you apart from the field, I'd say.
Yeah. Definitely. So are you still working on little side projects and stuff, still working within, film in, as many ways as you can, or have you sort of moved away from it a little bit?
I mean, personally, I've been more into the audio and sound world, so I've been creating my own sample packs just to kind of bring in the revenue, creating more synth patches, or if I was asked to work on a film score or advert or boom mopping, whatever it may be. So yeah, just creating my kind of own little portfolio for audio.
Yeah, creating your own little brand. I think that's a good way to get some work.
And the thing is as well, when you graduate, we're all going to be the first point of contact for each other. So whenever you have an idea, or even if it's a small competition, for example, the Rain Dance one that's having the 60-second challenge they do every year, when you just can submit for free a 60-second video with anything. If you have friends, just get together and do something like that. We actually in summer did, with another colleague of ours, Luke, we did sort of an insight about university after graduating. So it's another small things we got into, interview, video. I do photography as well on the side, I'm trying to get back into it. I got myself a camera recently, small Lumix, and I thought, I can use it maybe for freelancing or just have any ideas with these guys, just do anything. Because you got to keep yourself sort of occupied with the whole, still be creative and not allow yourself to get into that comfort zone. Just try to stay as much as you can out of it and just do different things.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the best way to go about it, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. It is a difficult one, I think, when you graduate. I mean, I've not graduated before, so I wouldn't know. But as far as I can tell, it is a little bit real life is happening now. University is good, but this is hard now.
You have to pay council tax now.
Yeah, you have to be real people and do things and provide for the government and stuff, which is nice.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's as daunting as some people may think. I mean, us being obviously first years, and when you were first years as well, it's this whole new world, and you're going to begin uni, and then after you begin uni, you're going to get straight into that job. I mean, fingers crossed that might actually happen, but I wouldn't like get too down about it, because there's always other opportunities. You might find something else you may like, or you might jump straight into that field. So there's always opportunity out there, I'd say.
Definitely, yeah. I think it's just obviously finding the work, really, and getting lucky. I mean, would you say that like luck has played? I mean, for people that you know that have potentially like walked out of university into a job, has it been luck?
No, I think for the most part, the people that I do know who have managed to get work straight away in whatever field have been lucky, but have also been extremely talented and good at what they do. Like, it's both, really.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Andrea's working for the university, but she's good at what she does.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
well, it's a case. It's a case of you got to talk to people, and you just don't shut up. That's what I did for our university as well, and I also got engaged into extracurricular activities, and that's another point I want to make for students that are now here. Don't just do work for the class. Just try to do as much as you can outside of it and get involved, and just don't shut up, basically.
Networking.
Networking.
Get yourself known.
Yeah, and that's what I did. And when I finished, like, I had a period when I applied for jobs, keep getting rejects because I don't have enough experience. And then I remembered, you know what, I'm just going to ask. So I asked around, tutors, and they said, oh, there's this opportunity going on, an internship, why not apply for it? I did, and here I am now. So yeah, I think it's a bit of, like you said, a bit of both luck and talent.
Definitely.
You have to come into the world with a bit of resilience. So you're going to get shut down a lot,
yes.
but you're also going to get a lot of interviews, or you're going to get a lot of opportunities or contacts to speak to people. But don't let stuff get like to you too much, because when you graduate, I don't know what the statistic is, but thousands of other graduates are graduating at the same time in the same field with the same aspirations.
And they're all looking for a job. Yeah.
So, just kind of create another filter for yourself where you just don't get stuff like into your brain and try and get bogged down with stuff. Just kind of move on. Something will come eventually.
Yeah.
You'll work your way up.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's actually a really important point, is the mental health after you finish, because you got to take care of yourself. And like from personal experience, there will be days where you're going to feel down and you're going to feel like nothing is going right, get a lot of rejects or anything. It's just trying to pass that point in your life where it just doesn't feel right, if that makes sense. Just taking care of yourself, because
there is a lot of change all at once when you leave uni.
Oh yeah,
because you leave a lot of your friends behind when they move back. Obviously, you're not seeing the same people every day. You don't get to come to this cool building.
Yeah.
You don't have access to equipment, and most people will be moving out of their houses and not necessarily staying here or moving back home. So it's a huge amount of change in such a short space of time.
Yeah. Would you say we're like, it was interesting because you mentioned mental health, and I feel like not a lot of people end up actually talking about actually mental health outside of university once you've finished. People talk about it inside university and like, oh, exam stress and all this stuff, but like, what about when you get outside uni? Like, how is that? As it treated with you? I don't want to get too deep, and like if this is too far, like you don't have to say something, but like if I'd like people, our age to know that like it is okay for that sort of stuff to happen, because they don't necessarily know, especially second years, third years, they're graduating soon. I don't know if you have any words of advice for them at all.
I think a lot of people shy away from. I think a lot of people are actually up for talking about mental health in general, or whatever a social cause may be, but a lot of people shy away from talking about their own. They don't want to put themselves out on the line, or they're afraid of people's judgments. I think you should just be honest with yourself. Like, if you're having a bad time, people are having a way worse time than you, and people are also having a way better time than you. So I think you just need to accept that you're in the situation you're in, and we're doing pretty well. So we've got our student loan, we've got our food, we've got our jobs, we've got our education. When you graduate, you may not have the most glamorous job, but you will be able to feed yourself, and you will be able to live. So things could be way worse, but yeah, you can get depressed, you can get down, but you also have a day where your shoot just goes amazingly, and that's going to get you your first, or that's going to get you that contact. So just, it'll be fine.
Just keep at it.
Take things as they come, and just, keep going.
Definitely. I don't want to get like too down or anything and like make it a bit depressing, but I just wanted to say
post grads, everything is depressing.
So in terms of like in general, like, did you feel like you were doing more stuff in university in the film industry, or is it not really changed, like the amount of stuff in general you were doing? I know that, okay, ignoring your projects, like the university projects, were you doing more stuff inside university? Was there more people coming to you, or
there was definitely more opportunities, weren't there? Like, we always had those emails coming through.
Oh yeah, all the time, and that's how you get involved into stuff, and just keep an eye on those emails or just any posts. There's the Advantage, Software Advantage portal as well. They have a lot of opportunities coming up, and just asking around. But I think we did have more to do in terms of you get into that pattern of having to come to university almost every day and just thinking, oh, I got to go to classes, and I'm going to meet up with some friends. I got a plan for this project upcoming. So after finishing, obviously that isn't the case anymore. So you do have a bit more free time. They think, oh, I got to think more about my time management now, if that makes sense. And just filling that time up and finding different opportunities and just keep on going at it. And from experience, for example, I came here to study from abroad. So it's not like I lived here before or anything like that. And I knew, okay, I'm going to come here to study, and I didn't know what I was going to do afterwards. And for students that are doing the same, it can get a bit overwhelming when you finish thinking, oh, well, what's going to happen next? And for me, as you can see, I'm still here, so... but it can get a bit stressful thinking, especially if family says, oh, are you going to come back? Or what do you think you're going to do? And then it's the whole pressure. What am I going to do? Like, I still don't know what I want to do in terms of, do I still want to stay here? But at the moment, I'm trying to just, take opportunities as they come and plan for the not so in the far away future and just enjoy my time as much as I can, because, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You didn't know you were going to sort of live here after, and this is only come about because of the job within the university, or?
I think that is, I knew I wanted to stay a bit longer because I've also made my own family here, my own friends, they've been so supportive, and it's been really nice. And looking into it as well, I thought I have better opportunities here. I wouldn't go too much into detail about it, but back home, the whole media and television, it's not as big as here. Don't have that many opportunities. And I thought, since I've been here and I've already sort of created something for myself so far, all these 3 years of university, might as well try to keep going at it and just keep persevering and having lovely people around me that support me, and I do the same for them. I think that's another point to make is, even if you feel down or you don't know what to do, there's always going to be someone there for you. And there's always going to be someone you can talk to, and talking to people, it's always helping.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure everyone's talking to people. Everyone is listening. Make sure you're talking if you're, in a bad place. It's very important. And just in general, talk to people, socialise. It's definitely, and network. Yeah, big three. Anyway, is there anything like you guys want to in particular say, to first years or second years or third years, people who are coming
Enjoy
up?
It.
Yeah.
It'll be rubbish sometimes, and it'll be awful and horrible, and you'll hate it and you'll miss home. But most of the time, it's really good, and just make the most of it, because you'll never get that time back. Like, you don't have to go to university; nobody has to. And there were times when I wondered whether it was the right decision for me, but I wouldn't trade the 3 years that I spent here for anything.
Yeah, that's always positive to hear.
I mean, building on Andrea's point, I'm also foreign, but I've lived here for about almost 9 years now. My mother's English and my dad's Egyptian, so when I was in Egypt, our education system's good, but you kind of, if you want the premium or international GCSE education, you kind of have to shell out a tiny bit for it, but you can't take uni for granted. Like Rob said, you're going to have the worst days of your life sometimes, not because of uni, but just the situation you're in. Like, you're going to have your job, you're going to have your education, you're going to have your family stress, you're going to have, all these kind of things around you. But uni's probably like, as soon as I graduate, that, like, the day after, I was like, wow, okay. Those 3 years went by, really did go by that quick. And I had all my friends, I had all the comfort, it was great. But definitely don't take it for granted. Like, make all your connections you can whilst you're at uni, get all the resources you can, because when a uni course starts, it's not just going to, like, thrust you into anything. They've got a base layer of the resources, and they know what the course is going to be like. So they're going to have, like, when Aarif actually in second year, like, when he had Mandy coming in, we had, like, these free 2-month, I think, trials with it. use that. I mean, and just use everything you can get. If it's free, if it's not free, as a student, you're going to pay a bit less.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of, you might never use it again in like the future or whatever, but
I still use it now sometimes.
Yeah, there you go. So
yeah,
just use every single resource you can get, whether it might be helpful or might not be. Just do it.
Yeah,
because did you guys find it like hard at all, like not having access to the amount, like, because you know how much kit we have here at Salford in particular, and how much stuff we have. We have access to this radio room, for example. We're using this right now, and was that quite hard for you guys to sort of move away from and be like, oh damn, I can't use this thing anymore, and I can't mess around with this camera?
Pretty much, It does hit you, and looking at it, you also gotta acknowledge that you cannot just have equipment for as long as you want, because now when you have to rent it, so you gotta pay for it. Therefore, you gotta be really mindful with your time, and you can't just go, I'm gonna book this equipment today for 2 days and just have a play with it. So I would say just take advantage as much as you can to the students with the equipment that's being offered in the facilities, and just anything in general. Try to familiarize yourself with new equipment. Even if you say, I might not use it, or I don't think I'm ever going to use it, it's still a good skill to have and put it on the CV. Same with the software, because we do have all the editing software and everything on the computers here. So, just taking advantage of that. And
everything is very expensive.
Yes.
Pretty much.
To sum up, yeah.
Yeah, I think people sometimes forget in the university how expensive some of this equipment actually is, and how sort of lavishly we can use it and how much we can take it out and stuff. So it's definitely interesting to hear that, use the kit, everyone. Use it as much as you can, because it's important that you do.
Also, make friends with people in the year below.
Right. Yeah. So do you guys still speak to some of the second years and third years that who are doing their films now? Have they contacted you?
I mean, we do follow them on social media, because a lot of them invite us to their Facebook pages or the projects that they work on, and it's nice to sort of see what they're up to and just keep updated and
go to the pub with them.
Yeah. I mean, that as well, just the social part that's important. I mean, obviously with the whole, we gotta fund our own projects. You do see a lot of them sharing, please donate to this, and I try to support them whenever I can, even if it is with just advice or locations. I had people messaging me regarding projects that we worked on, and they've seen, where did you film this? Do you have any advice on this? And that's really good to have that connection and network with people, because you might know something that they don't, or the other way around. So it's always good to just talk to people below.
Yeah. Have they asked you to come back at all, any of you, to help them out on projects and stuff yet? Or is it just more...
help with some writing stuff, because that was always my main interest. I was into the writing side. So not having access to the cameras didn't hit me as hard as it might hit other graduates.
Yeah, because you would like the pen and paper.
Yeah. But I still speak to a couple of people who are on the course. I think that they must be in third year now, just about different writing projects and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess it's good to keep in contact with the people, because these, everyone here is also, the future of the industry. Yeah. They all have potential connections that you can, speak to and stuff.
Also, it's just fun as well. It's not all about the industry and getting into it. I mean, I'm guessing most of us did this course and are doing this course because we just love film and television. I don't think many people started it saying, most people did it with passion.
Yeah. I want to work there. I want to do it, kind of thing. Yeah.
On one hand, it is like a dream thing to work in, but on the other hand, I just love it and want to spend my time doing it. So whatever avenue I can take to get that enjoyment, I'm happy to take.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a more positive measure than thinking coming out of university being I need a job, working straight away. And I think that is a mindset that I know a lot of people have.
Yeah, remember why you started doing it in the first place. It's not like accounting or economics or anything, or business studies.
Yeah, where people sort of hate it already, and then are going to work in it for 30 years afterwards, and
it is a vocation.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep the passion alive and the fire burning and still going. Again, like you said, remind yourself of why you started. Because I'm actually going to tell a story about it. In high school, I did maths and informatics. So it's not like I had the whole coming from any media or film-related course before that. But I knew in my spare time I did all things creative, writing or music or even going to my camera and taking photos. So using that passion, that's what got me into the course, and keep on going at it and reminding yourself that that's where you started, and just keep creating whatever it is. Even if you feel like, oh, this is rubbish, no, it's not going to be. You just keep going at it, because famous people today, how else did they become famous? Because they keep persevering and keep, the fire alive, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because otherwise, what was the point, sort of the whole thing, the whole exercise of doing the course? What did you? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what did you guys come out of university with grades wise? Is this? I don't know if it's necessarily like, it's not relevant, but some people might be interested to know like what you guys got and like sort of maybe what the courses you did were as well.
Okay, so I graduated with 2.1. That's a second?
A 2-1.
Yeah. 2.1, yeah.
2.1. I started with being an editor, and I tried producing in my second year and third. And obviously when finishing, just trying to make the best out of it, because I got involved into open days, for example, for the course, promoting the course. So that also helped with communication skills and just, telling people that gonna come study here. So I think, I don't know, possibly third years or second years now, I might have been at your interview there in the corner just looking at your work and helping with
that's a thought,
you getting
actually.
in.
I forgot that we were involved
we
in
did.
the interview process.
That's a good point. We were, because we were the first generation and we were the first graduates. When they started, obviously, interviewing for new people, a couple of us volunteered to help with the process and be there for the interview, look at the work. So we did have sort of a say in it, which I think is quite interesting.
Remember that you owe us.
Yeah. Did you? Which year was it you were working with? Was it the current third years?
Yeah, I think the current third years and second years. We did help a little bit with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened afterwards, because obviously we got quite busy with us being third years and everything. But
damn, the first of a generation, truly, aren't you? How was that? Being the first generation of a course that hadn't really been trialed before. This was like. This was you guys doing it.
Got a lot of input.
Yeah, that was the best part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, lecturers definitely listen.
So you guys really tailored the course a little bit for the rest of us, which I appreciate.
Founding fathers, yeah.
There's a lot more staff now.
Oh yeah, there's loads more staff, which is crazy. There's a lot more students as well.
Yeah,
there was about 100 in your year or something, was there?
We were about 100. Then I think after first semester or first year, a couple dropped out, so we went down to 90 something or 80 something. So
it tripled in size, didn't it?
Yeah, I think there's 250 odd students.
Yeah, like
now,
when we heard, like
your year.
that's incredible.
Yeah, I think next year there's going to be like 300-ish students.
Good luck, Aarif.
God, I need to get a job before you all graduate.
That is gonna
oversaturate the field.
We're coming like a tidal wave. We're approaching final year, which is exciting.
I think that was sort of a perk of us being not like small in numbers and it being just us in the first year. Because of that, there was more time, if that makes sense, for the lecturers to sort of help us. In terms of, like, anytime we had a problem, which was a lot of time, we just went, oh, can you help us with this? And they had the time. But after that, because a lot of people keep coming on, it's going to get really, really busy. And, it's not going to be as, not casual, what's the word for it? It's sort of easy to get in contact. So, we did get that. Plus, all the new equipment. Like, all the new equipment that came in, we had first hands on it. And it was actually one of the classes. So, we just unpacked everything, because they were just in, everything was new in, and we just unpacked everything. It was such a nice experience, almost like opening Christmas gifts on Christmas Day. So that was the whole thing, getting hands on first on whatever was coming in. For all the techies out there, it's like, oh, it's nice, I guess.
yeah you get to play with the kit first and mess around with it. Get jealous, really.
Because they did ask us as well, what cameras do you think you like in second year? And we did sort of have a bit of what about this or that? And they said, would you like a new Panasonics or the Lumix and all that?
So did they have like all the Vericam and stuff when you were in first year, or was that
C100's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Was it so did it build, so from first year to second year, did they build on the kit by your request, basically?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Different companies came in and we had like open days with them, didn't they?
like before we got the Eva 1, we actually had a workshop and someone came in to show us, and we just fell in love with it and said, yeah, and that's how we got the Eva 1 with the new camera Eva 1.
Yeah, everyone's obsessed with the Eva now. All the lecturers rave about the Eva 1,
my
seriously. So yeah,
it is a good camera. So
Yeah.
It's great for documentary stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Yeah, it's really good for documentaries.
If you think about it, most courses you don't really get that input, do you, as a student? You
Oh, no.
kind of have the basis, and then this is what I'm going to learn, this is what I'm going to graduate in. But yeah, we had a lot of creative freedom in like, obviously it's easy for us to say like, oh, we want this and we want that, but you have to bear in mind the cost as well. But
yeah.
we definitely weren't hindered by any. We had like amazing equipment for sure.
Always makes me feel bad for like English students and things who don't even get their books bought for them.
Yeah, they have to buy their own books.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's shocking. Like, it was weird because, you know, you end up spending a lot more money, I feel like, in film, you know, on sets and stuff. Like, do you feel like you spent like quite a lot throughout the course, you know, on your own
Of
films
our own money?
and of your own money, not crowdfunded and stuff, but
Not having a
with the-
car was an
that
issue.
was big.
Oh,
Just,
yeah,
like,
that's such a
the
big
amount
issue.
of money that we all probably collectively spent on taxis and Ubers, just, oh God.
Gives you that appreciation though, you know.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, when you get a car and you're like, haha, I can do things now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Make friends with people with cars. In fact, anyone listening who can afford a van, if you get you'll be set for life.
You'll be friends with everyone on the course. Yeah. What was your final year films?
So I kind of put myself into a little corner where I worked on 2 feature films. One of them was Be Better, and the other one was not Bardo Bebop. Yeah, Bardo Bebop. Yeah, I thought I said Bardo Bebop first. Sorry.
There's a lot of B's.
Yeah, a lot of
Be
B's.
better,
yeah.
base, Bardo, beat well.
Yeah, and 2 similar-ish films in terms of like the psychological thriller and all that kind of stuff. But one of them was what you have to bear in mind if you're shooting a feature film at uni. First of all, not a lot of money to make a feature film with. Yes, you have the equipment, but aside from that, you're renting and all that kind of stuff. Secondly, small team, like a really small team. You have to carry your actors around, your equipment, your location scouts, your legal documents, all that kind of thing. So working on 2 really gave me, probably out in my entire life, that's easily the best time management period I've ever had in my entire life.
I can imagine that was quite stressful though. Were they full-length features?
Yeah.
Was that the same with all of your third-year projects, or was it different? Could you did you have the choice?
So directors, we had pitches. So the directors of the films pitched to the rest of the course, and you kind of emailed them or talked to them to kind of audition for their crew.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened.
I thought that was quite a good process.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how it works this year. I'm not well informed on that yet. Because obviously I'm not in third year yet. And I imagine it's going to change before then, because there's a lot of people that are sort of this year they're sort of forming little groups of people already.
think
That happens quite naturally.
That happens.
Though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that always happens.
I mean, when you're crammed in with people for such a short space of time and you go through such a stressful thing as trying to get a film made, you're obviously going to form those bonds with people, and either you'll get along really well or you'll never want to see them again.
Yeah.
So I think cliques, however you pronounce it, can form quite easily. And sometimes that's a brilliant thing because, obviously Faris worked with groups of people who have done brilliantly, but other times it can feel a little bit like, once the best group is made, everybody's aspiring to be part of that little team.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what were the other films? So we've got 2 over here, and then I guess each of you have 2 then. So
yeah. So I worked on a short film, sort of like a what was this, psychological, like realistic, about the NHS and a mother that was working as a nurse. It's quite realistic. And the other one was documentary, which actually I worked with Rob. We worked together on that one. Oh, you remember now? So it was quite a nice mix with short film, so actual narrative, and then a documentary, which was about the racing society here at University of Salford. I'm not gonna go too much into detail. I'm gonna let you do that because you directed it. I was editing it, and with the other one, I produced it. So imagine, and I know a lot of probably students now are struggling as well when they try to find a hospital if they want to film in a hospital. It's about connections as well. Like I knew someone that knew someone else that had an email for a place, and I just went there, talked to them, said, "Oh, so we're students, we don't have much money. Is there any way we can make something work? And they had unclosed ward wing. Said, well, we can have it for like this many hours on this certain days. It's just, it's empty. There's nothing there. And we just dressed it up. That's what we did, and it saved us a lot of money.
We spent so much money on hospital curtains.
I mean, yeah, we did do that.
A ridiculous amount. It was like £300 for like 10 hospital curtains.
Did you
don't know where they are now.
Like they'd someone to stole them.
Yeah,
shower
Probably.
curtains.
Yeah, because it was the director wanted a certain vision, which is, it's always nice. And as a producer working with that director, I said, well, I do want to help you get that vision, because that's ultimately the whole bond between the producer and the director, that they want to, make that film happen. But I also had the whole, we cannot afford it.
Yeah. So you managed to get it for free, though, for in general, like the actual location was free for you. Yeah.
And it was a one-time thing. Because I did have people like asking when they saw the short, oh, how'd you get this? This is incredible. And even the lecturers were like, oh, how'd you manage to get that? It was a bit of luck and connections. But again, it was a one-time thing, unfortunately, because apparently after that, the site manager was a bit upset with whoever let us film there. But it was a nice experience going there, and we just again dressed it up all the way, and having the actors come in and just organizing everything as a producer was quite stressful, but at the same time really good experience that I can just draw from for the future, to be honest. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Rob, do you want to tell us about this documentary then?
The Salford Racing Society in the university. They build a Formula One style car each year. The year that we filmed them, it didn't work. So,
so that was fun for a documentary.
But, they went down to Silverstone and we followed them. And it was a really good project to do on the side, as well as writing and working on other ones, because there was not much travel involved. We could just go along whenever they met up with Aniva and just film for a couple of hours. And it ended up, what we put together was quite good. It was quite entertaining.
Did you have a vision for it almost, or did you just go, this is the idea, we're just going to film and see what happens kind of thing? Or
I got into doing it because my housemate is one of the heads of the society, and they were looking for somebody to do like a promotional video for them. And I thought, I'll do that, with a few people, and that'll be something extra to do. And then when I went and met them and found out like the extent of the project, I thought, this would make a good little 20-30 minute documentary. So that's what it became.
Yeah, and you did that as your final project then, and sort of pitched that as...
Yeah, I did that, and then I wrote some other stuff. But
was it a relatively small team?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
And then a day usually, but that was quite a good project to do because it was so regular compared to the other films that obviously had a shifting schedule with actors and locations and that kind of thing. Being able to say each week, okay, Wednesday from this hour till this hour, we're going down filming for this long, then we'll be done. It was a lot easier to get people on board just for 1 or 2 shoots. So
yeah, definitely.
Documentaries are a lot of fun. Do documentaries if you can.
Yeah, true.
I was thinking about doing one next year rather than, a creative film, because, the money actually involved is minimal. Really.
Yeah.
You can even go experimental with it as well. So.
And it is still very creative because you have the whole sort of idea of what side you want to show, whose story you want to tell, and how you want to tell it, how you want to frame the documentary, whether you want to be involved as a person in it or just off camera answering questions, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I might have to look at maybe doing one then. That'd be cool to do something, even if it's not a project. But yeah, was there another project you worked on as well? Was it just a documentary?
So I also wrote a feature film, which didn't end up getting made because we were just too ambitious with it and unrealistic.
So, do you want to speak about the scope of it, sort of what it was entailing, maybe?
It was like 129-page script type psychological thriller, because that's what everybody does when they don't have very much budget. It was called The Bodies of Penelope Lake. It was a lot of fun to write, but it realistically would have been impossible to make on the kind of constraints that we had.
Still maybe one for the future?
I still tinker with it and that kind of thing and send it off when there's script competitions up and that kind of thing. So
Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah, that's good. So we had someone a couple of weeks ago in like the very, 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 very first podcast, I'm saying that in first year, don't muck about, and that was like the whole sort of thing of the episode. Was that? Do you feel any sort of truth to that, or do you think maybe that's a bit too like ugh? Or what's your sort of thoughts on that in first year specifically?
I'd say first year is the biggest opportunity to get your connections.
Yeah.
An experiment.
Because you can like work on your projects and stuff, but that's not detrimental to your career. First year, I'd say, it is the biggest one for your resources and your connections for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying what I said before. Just talk to people and don't shut up and try to get involved and make those connections. Yeah. And sometimes it'll be fine if you feel like if you have a bad day and feel like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. And that's still okay because you keep yourself, pick yourself up after that and find different things to do and just occupying your time. And it doesn't have to be creative and doing films all the time. It can be even doing something new like you've never done before. Like, I don't know, going swimming or, I don't know, anything.
Have you not gone swimming before?
It was just an example. Yeah, so again, just don't muck about.
Yeah.
Muck about a bit. Like, I mean, like, make friends and be normal. Do all that kind of... I weirdly put more effort into the first year. Like, I got my best grades in first year, only by, like, half a mark. But still, I was annoyed that I realised that I did the best in my first year as opposed to the other 2 years. And I think because I came straight out of A-levels and then took a gap year and then came into uni, and I was just so ready to start doing work again that I put everything into that first year. By the end of it, I was really happy with my mark, but it didn't count to anything.
Well, marks don't count when you graduate, so...
Yeah, but it's still, like, nice to do well.
Just brag about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say your like marks, have they influenced anything?
So, when you have like a... No, go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, it might be a deciding factor between, like, you and another good applicant. If you're both, neck and neck, and they have a first and you have a 2-1, that might put them over the edge. But it's definitely not the be-all and end-all, like it might be with other degrees.
So I think, actually, Andreea and I applied for the same job that you're in now.
Oh, the internship.
I think so.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we? I remember. Yeah.
Ooh. I got a first and Andreea got a 2-1, but Andreea has the job. But in separate ones, where this job that I've applied for now, one of their requirements was first, preferably. So that could be a deciding factor. Not always the case, obviously, because, like Rob was saying, if you're in economics or business, that's usually an incentive to how intelligent you are in your qualities. But within film, it all comes down to your creativity and adaptability and how you can actually get that project out or that vision out.
Yeah, it's sort of a bit of a toss-up, really, like whether you're suited to the role, maybe. Yeah.
When so much of the course is collaborative as well, like everything that we do is group projects. Yeah. There's the occasional essays and evaluation, but the vast majority of your mark comes down to big group projects. So I think it's hard to get an individual mark out of that might reflect your work perfectly.
Yeah, because you can't make, like, realistically, you can't make film on your own. You can, but it's going to be very difficult, and you're going to spend a lot of time and effort doing it. If you could go back and change anything, I don't know if it's a bit too deep, but if you go back and change anything, what would it be? Like, why would you change it, kind of thing? I don't know. Like, you can have a couple seconds to think about it, but anyone who's ready, just like, bam, jump on it.
Invest more time into yourself, like, for sure. Like, going back to the resilience point, I mean, if we're going to think nihilistically, at the end of the day, it is you first, right? I mean, it is your career and it is your path to having, as much as you can. Yeah, put yourself first, because you never know where you're going to end up, that kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but...
No, it's interesting to hear. Like, doesn't have to not make sense, because it's it's your own personal sort of opinion. It's like a bit of an opinion thing here, but it's fine to say whatever you want, really, because this is what people want to hear.
It doesn't mean like push people away and be a terrible person, but just be like, if this isn't the best option for me, either talk it out and then try and find a resolution, or prioritize yourself again.
It's okay to put yourself first.
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
100%.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything you want to jump on a little bit?
there's things in an ideal world I would have done differently, but I know if I went back in time and was there now, I wouldn't have done it differently.
You would have done it the same way you did it.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's like everyone would say, oh, I would have worked a little bit harder or done this slightly differently, but I wouldn't have. If I went back now, I'd do it the same.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that's good. I guess it's good to be not like dwelling on, the past too much and be like, oh, I could have done this and.
I'd have slept more, maybe. Like at better times. That's probably it.
Yeah, just personal care. So yeah.
That's interesting. It's very much to do with yourself rather than how you would have interacted with other people, and it's more like be you, be the best you. Is that what we're trying to say? I guess in a slight a summary. What have you done specifically film related after university? That has been any sort of paid work? Have you done anything like that, or have you been close to? I know, Andreea, obviously you work. I don't know if it's necessarily creatively. I mean, I don't know actually what your job is.
I actually said what I'm doing, did I? In the beginning, I just said I'm working for the university
like an hour
now.
in. This is a good time to bring it up.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
He said it at the beginning. So when the job was advertised as a video content creator. And what I basically do is, it's part of the quality enhancement office back at the main campus. I have lecturers booking in sessions to come, and I record them against a green screen, and it's for Blackboard, just lectures. Obviously, I take them and I edit, put the slides in. And sometimes I can go even more creative with it. I had people coming in that are connections through the NHS, and they wanted to do not promotional videos, but informative videos about, taking care of the elderly or mental health. So I could go a bit more creative with that, designing the graphics and just how to go about editing the video. So it is a bit of a creative freedom, and some things are quite straightforward because there's templates to use for the lectures and everything. I was going somewhere with that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. But before that, it was really hard to find a job. And for a couple of months, I just had nothing, and I keep getting rejects. And that goes into personal life as well. Because of that, I cannot find a place because I wouldn't have past referencing. So for a couple of months, getting all the rejects and not having a place, I was staying with friends, either on campus or on couches, which is not fun. Then I remembered, obviously, the connections that I had here. And in the meantime, I also did work experience, for free, obviously, with this media company here in Media City. It's in the Dock 10 building.
Yeah.
Toasted Productions, they're called. And what I basically did, went 1 day per week for just a full day, just helping them around with small things like organization or editing certain videos that came in, which I think did help as well. So if you have the time as a student or even graduate, do a bit of work experience, because that also puts more on your CV that could help in a potential job. That's basically what I've been doing.
Yeah. Either of you two, sort of same question.
After you. Right.
I personally haven't actually worked on any film projects, primarily audio for me, because that's kind of what I specialise in. Mainly actually been mixing tracks for people or creating those sample packs again. So if you got, I don't know if you've used like SoundSnap for your that kind of stuff. You can make a really good clientele basis or revenue from that, because if you can kind of create, like, let's say your own little patch synth for a musician, they could just use that, and then you get credited for that, and then more people see that, and then that just keeps building on your own. It's kind of the best self-promotion you can get. Other people buying your things to use them, and then other people get the recognition to see that.
So you're doing that alongside working as well then? You're selling this online?
Yeah. You can set up your own website, obviously. But yeah, I've just been selling it online mainly. But right now I'm working as a chef at Wagamama.
Love Waggers.
Yeah. Best company in the world.
Sponsored.
I wish.
But I was just speaking with Aarif earlier, just at the minute, just waiting for this to hear back from this job at PHMG. It's an audio branding agency. Done stuff with like Coca-Cola and Samsung, so.
So it'd be cool to get in somewhere like that.
Right up my street. So fingers crossed, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I haven't really worked on lots of things after leaving uni. I do a lot of writing in my spare time. I signed up to an extras agency when I moved back up here, just because obviously it goes back to the passion. I just like being involved and around that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Been doing some comedy writing as well. I'm going to start doing stand-up just as something to do. And
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
well, it's always like building confidence and that kind of thing, and for interviews. But my passion was always writing and doing the creative stuff. So that's something that I've always done before uni and in my spare time afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Huh?
Have we got any jokes?
Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, you want to do
It's
comedy
all
writing.
very long form, and definitely not stuff that I can say on the university.
Stuff for, like, the evening show, maybe.
This is more the evening.
Okay.
Salford Uni podcast after dark, maybe.
Maybe in the future we'll have a look at trying to get that going. But yeah, that'd be cool. If you're doing something, do you want to, like, if any of you have, like, Instagrams or anything, do you want to, like, plug them? I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but... Like,
I don't actually have Instagram.
Anything.
Oh, yeah, that's
sort of
if I
social
can
media.
give a piece of advice, be better at social media. Because I'm really bad at it, and it has definitely hindered me massively.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Why would you say that, though? What's made you think...
I don't have Twitter, I don't have Instagram, and I didn't have Facebook until like the second year of uni, because I never really used it or needed it. But then so much of the promotion of films and getting jobs and, you know, things like LinkedIn is all social media based now. Any work experience opportunities. So even if you're bad at it, like, just do it anyway. I know you hate it, whoever's listening to me who can relate, but yeah, just stop being a Luddite. This is me advising my past self, by the way.
So just in case you can send this back in time,
Yeah.
this is you saying get social media.
Don't be pretentious. It doesn't make you interesting. It's not an excuse for a personality, not having social media. Just pull your head out your ass.
Okay, cool. That's our one swear for the podcast.
Yeah,
Go on.
sorry.
No, it's fine. We'll keep that one in, I think. I think it makes sense. Yeah, that's interesting, actually, that, you know, something so simple, like, a lot of people wouldn't even consider, like, oh, well, not being on social media or whatever, but, you know, so there could be some people out there that, you know, don't really use it that often anymore or don't want to. Was there anything sort of in particular that you guys would really want to say to someone, like, that stood in front of you and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing, like, I need help, and you're, you know, as postgrads, they're worried about their future, you know, where they're going and stuff, and they don't really know what to do? What would you say to them? Like,
So the sort of insight of how it was for us when applying for jobs and interviews and all of that. It's a long process. So start early. I didn't start that early, and that's why it sort of fed into more months than I planned. So it is a really long process, and starting early does help. And preparing for it. Obviously, have a CV, have your social media up to date and all of that. LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever that. You put yourself out there and be mindful of what you post, because obviously with any company, the first thing they're gonna look into is what you post on social media. So yeah, just whenever you think about, I'm gonna post this really funny picture when I went out, think about it twice if it's, you know, if it might or might not impact. And yeah, unfortunately, that's how it is. You just gotta create that online image of yourself that when someone looks at it, say, oh yeah, this is a person that might, you know, be good to consider for our company. That's how it works, and just keep going at it. Think about it early, apply early. CV, show reel for people that are more technical, or, you know, they do editing or something specific like that. Portfolios, anything like that. Just having it all there for people to see.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say, like, it's very easy to kind of put stuff off. Like, let's say if you have a day off during the week, during uni, and, like, I could be, you know, like Skillshare, or even you're doing, like, on Blackboard, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, just invest, like, 7 hours a week or 10 hours a week into, like, learning something new or enhancing your skill. Like, if you're on, like, for example, for me, I like Logic Pro. That's for music or sound, or just put in an extra hour. Like, even if you're just, like, playing guitar or bass or whatever, just, all right, so what does this fader do? What does this EQ do? Just kind of hone your skills, and then you can play PlayStation after if you want, or you can just play Pine Pot or whatever, you know. But just, like, just putting a few more hours into your self-knowledge, because you never know when that's going to come in handy. So if you apply for a job and it has like that template and it has that what this client needs or what this employee needs, or needs to be efficient in Premiere, you know, those extra 20 hours over the last 3 years have been pretty helpful now, haven't they?
Yeah, and actually knowing it as well. Yeah, definitely. Cool.
And that also sort of reminds me of, if you guys remember, we used to have, that was offered to us, lynda.com back in first or second year. I don't think it exists anymore. So I think actually LinkedIn bought it and sort of incorporated into LinkedIn Learning.
I think with the university, you actually do get, I don't know if anyone knows this, but you do get a trial of LinkedIn Learning, which is like Lynda, as far as I understand, you know, it's a skill learning
we used to have it
thing.
for free, and I think a lot of people didn't know about it, or if they knew, they didn't use it, and we keep getting reminded of use it, because it is, you know, free to you. Might as well just take advantage of it. And eventually just got shut down. Well, LinkedIn bought it, and
LinkedIn Learning is good, by the way. I have used it before, and it's actually it's pretty decent. If there's something you really don't know, it's good for sort of professional help within that, which is nice. Yeah.
And £10 a month is like nothing. You know?
Yeah, even
like,
if you want to do it. We get it with uni.
Yeah. So you can learn as much as you want for as long as you want. Like, everyone loves going out, everyone loves partying with their friends, but when you have, like, let's say that few hours before your 12 p.m. tutorial, just put it in anyway. You know, just go on Skillshare or do something. Yeah.
Or listen to podcasts.
Yeah. Or listen to this podcast, guys. Very important. Rob?
I think if I had to give advice to somebody just finishing, I'd say it's okay to not know exactly what you want to do. It's okay to need a bit more help and to feel a bit lost sometimes. It's fine. Everyone feels that way. It's completely normal. If you're finishing the course now, you're probably quite young. Realistically, you have years and years and years ahead of you of not knowing what you want to do. So,
yeah. Have you guys come back to uni since graduating? See any of the lecturers or for anything in particular? I mean, obviously,
I have.
I know you have, for work, but
not only for that, it's just like I was catching up with Aarif and Jane and Janan and just people like all the other lecturers around, just seeing how they are, and also when I had the whole internship, just from certain advice, and it was nice having a catch up and seeing the building again. Some things have changed since we first graduated, so it's nice coming back as well. I think I will be coming back because this is where we started, and it's nice to catch up with people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, come back. I need to go back to my college. I think see some tutors I had in college. They were really nice, and I've sort of missed them actually a little bit. This, as far as I can tell, the lecturers, they know a lot of things as well. Like they see all the stuff that's going on within the industry as well. So if you want a job, they might be able to help.
And just advice in general, just talking.
Definitely. Yeah, just chatting.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah,
catch up.
Social as well. So it's nice.
Yeah.
Suck up to everyone. That's the
that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you stay in Manchester? For what was it?
I mean,
particularly
just behind us, right? BBC,
Media City,
ITV, everything's here.
You want to? Have you been poking the BBC and ITV for sort of?
I know a production assistant there, just talking, but it's kind of quite hard to get into there.
Oh, it's really? I've applied, even if it is traineeships or work experience, I've applied to a couple and rejects.
They are massively oversubscribed.
Yeah, but
very competitive.
Yeah, I still didn't give up. I'm still gonna apply for the next one, and keep on going at it, and having the accounts for the career hubs, because they do have the BBC and ITV have career hubs. You can just sign up to it and just keep.
But it's not just them that are here. There's loads of little production companies all dotted around
That's
here.
how I got the one I had the work experience at. Because what I did is I went through all the production companies that I could find around Manchester Media City and just emailed them until someone got back to me. So that's could be another way of going to getting some even work experience or just meeting someone. Because they did ask me after I finished, would you be interested in helping more around here? And yeah, I'm still in talks with them after I finish, because this is an industry that I have at the moment. It will finish eventually. And just, talking and making those connections and seeing how it goes from there.
Yeah. What's pushed you away from somewhere like London that's arguably a bigger centre for media in the Okay,
Money.
Yeah, I thought that was coming, but yeah.
Yeah, because you can't just say, I'm just going to go straight into it, because I think, personally as well, you got to have a bit of preparation, financially as well, and being, can I definitely afford this, going straight into it, or if it's a really good job talking to them about relocation and how that affects you and if they can help you with that. But at the moment, I wouldn't, like, financially and also socially as well, because I still feel I got so much to do here and so many other things to try, and having my friends here. I'm gradually building up and seeing whatever comes my way. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
I like it here.
You just like it in Manchester?
Yeah.
The weather is nice.
Is it? Is it though? I don't know if it is.
I come from like a really a village of like 200 people, so it's a huge difference. Obviously, coming somewhere this populated and busy, and I loved coming to uni here. A lot of my friends have stayed here. This is where I'm happy.
Yeah. I'm surprised by how many people actually really do it like Manchester. They've come from
It is
all
a nice
over.
community. It's really open as well, and everyone's so lovely, and yeah.
Definitely. Well, I've lived here all my life, so big up Manchester. I'd say, yeah, big up the north a little bit. Yeah. Any other closing words? Because otherwise, I think that's about us really. Bit of a sort of a wholesome, nice end.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
cheers.
you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you
been
very
really
much. Nice to be
nice to
back.
sort of chat some alumni types.
Yeah,
Hats and gowns and all that.
Yeah, and people.
We're wearing them now.
Yeah.
We're
This
sat
is-
here in our gowns and mortarboards.
It was nice. We had quite nice weather when we graduated, didn't we? It was quite sunny, so that's quite nice when you finish having that nice weather.
I can only dream of it being nice. It probably won't be.
A good silly tip, actually, before we go. On your graduation day, your suit, I don't know about dresses, but your suit, you can just keep the tags in your suit, and then you can return it the next day if you don't want to shell out on a suit just for one day.
Well, there you go, everyone. A bit of a life hack.
There you go.
Good bit of advice, actually.
Return your suits. Don't want to.
I have pins with you, so you can pin down the whatever
There you go.
goes on top.
Spooky. Good. I'm glad.
And
I'm
don't
glad
trip
that-
on the stage. Guys.
Don't trip either. Did you?
No.
Okay.
I mean-
that was going somewhere then.
Well, Maybe, but no, I didn't. I almost did, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. Because everyone's thinking, I need to, not trip, and then keep smiling and everything. Handshake, get your degree, and
And
then
just go
that's
sit
it.
back down again.
Yeah, like it's the whole build up to it, but then it goes by so quickly. It's like 2 seconds, then like, okay, we're done now. Oh, okay.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
the whole taking pictures of the whole family, and just
Yeah.
going to the.
Oh,
photo
don't
ops.
bother paying for a picture.
Oh
But-
yeah, don't like because
We're on a film production
yeah,
course.
might as well just
Everybody has a
take it
camera.
ourselves.
Don't.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what we did
Yeah.
with ours as well. So
Yeah, just take our own photos. Stick it to the man. Truly. Yeah. Good job, guys. Thank you so much. It's
Likewise.
been
Thank you.
Real,
wonderful
thank you for having
talking
us,
to
yeah.
you. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back not next week, probably maybe a few weeks with something else. I don't know what we'll be talking about. Probably the Americans next time, which will be exciting. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Awesome.